This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
I do think that's her better music. Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Charlotte has made her decision. Charlotte versus Tiffy time, just like we kind of talked about was going to happen at WrestleMania. So, a lot to talk about there. And then, of course, we have the Yeet Master, Jey Uso, challenging Gunther.
Yeet
Gunther.
Master sounds...
I know. But welcome to another edition. So we have our two title matches now confirmed. But I guess, hold on, let me get to this now before we get started. Our good friend David Roscoe over at YouTube last night. I was watching USA vs. Sweden on HBO Max last night. Didn't watch Raw, and it was awesome. Trish Stratus saving Tiffy Stratton from Nia Jax. And Nia Jax, it's stupid not winning again the women's champion from Tiffany Stratton. Well, that we disagree. Why not let Tiffy have her run? She's doing a great job. She earned it. You can't just give it right back to Nia Jax.
she can't get it right back. I mean, plus... Unfortunately, Charlotte's probably going to win at WrestleMania, so that's all moot.
You know, it's such a tough one, right? Because we always say you never bet against a Flair, especially Charlotte. But what if Tiffany does get over at WrestleMania? I mean, it's possible.
It should be the move. I mean, again, we've said it again, right? Again and again. Does Charlotte loses any aura from losing to WrestleMania? Absolutely not. And my thing is this, right? I was actually having this conversation with my wife last night, and the conversation was more based on Jimmy Uso. How glad I was that a guy that's been there through the trenches, wrestling 300 days a year, finally gets his moment at WrestleMania instead of John Cena part-timer. As much as we love John Cena, his 17th championship could come at any given time.
And there's no way in my mind Jey Uso doesn't go over at WrestleMania. There's absolutely no way.
He has to.
Remember we had this conversation for Saturday main event when I was the only one that picked Jey, and I said, how does this guy bash him so much and he loses to him? Well, this was the reason, right? Because it was his comeback story.
Right.
And for me right now, after you played that music, I was just thinking about this. Charlotte Flair, it's literally if John Cena was a heel and we hated him that much. That's what she has become. Like, it's because she's so good. And don't get me wrong, she's great. But let some other people breathe. I mean, we could put the title on you any given time, any given place. You get the title. We can't argue against it. But I think if you take the title from Tiffany Stratton, this whole Money in the Bank, holding on to the briefcase, befriending Nia Jax, will be obsolete at this point. Because there's nothing to grow from there. I think she should hold that title a little bit longer.
And I think she might. I really do. Listen, you got to be fair to Flair.
Flair.
I don't know. I really do think... I agree. I think Tiffy should hold it. And we'll have to see like what happens now with the build-up. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, but
and please keep in mind one thing, right? Yes, do we see this new young up-and-coming star Tiffy time as a face? We see her as a face, but she's not a face.
She she's over, first of all, with the crowd. Second, if you put her against Charlotte, they're going to cheer Tiffany over Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause Charlotte
will-
right now is the heel.
She will be the face of two heels. That's perfect, but keep in mind, she doesn't need to win fair because she's not technically a face. There could be interference. You know, you can have somebody like what's her face, the girl that just left right now with the injury, tag team champ. I'm forgetting her name. From AEW.
Jay Cargill. Oh,
Jay
from AEW.
Cargill.
Yeah, Jay
To come
Cargill.
in there and out of nowhere, she could pick a fight with fucking Flair and cost her the match at WrestleMania, and you can have a feud with them for the next 3 months.
It could
You
be
could do
Becky
it with
Lynch.
Becky Lynch. You could
Yeah.
and so forth and so on, right? We could do it with almost anybody in the roster because anybody can have a chip against this girl. I mean, we are talking about Flair.
Yeah, but she came it was a surprise entry. She won the Rumble. It was her big comeback. You know what I mean? Like all of that together just seems to me like they're setting us up for another Charlotte WrestleMania victory. Although, I mean, her win-loss record at WrestleMania isn't exactly the best, but
She's the Shawn Michaels of the females when it comes to win-loss records at WrestleMania.
It's one of those situations where it really does nothing for Charlotte, but it does everything for Tiffany. To get
Right.
the rub from Charlotte at WrestleMania, you know, like that, you know what I mean?
and I don't hate Al's idea that Tiffy could do something heelish. She could cheat or something, and that's, you know,
Yeah.
that's how she wins at WrestleMania. Because
Listen, pull the tights, put the feet on the ropes, you know, something.
that's the only way to beat a Flair sometimes is they're going
Right.
to cheat, so you got to cheat.
Dirtiest players in the game.
I mean, and again, like there's a lot of names. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's a few very special names in the women's division that we tend to forget coming into the road to WrestleMania because they've been off TV for so long, right? And we mentioned a few of those names, so there's something that tells me because it's been so blatant in our face, just like the John Cena. Hey, I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna win the Rumble. So, like, if I was a betting man, most likely I would have bet my money on John Cena winning the Royal Rumble. But it gave us that little curveball at the end, and we really got what we deserved, which was Jay. So I wouldn't be surprised if she actually loses it. But I do think if she loses, it will not be a clean loss. 1, 2, 3 count.
Right.
You know what else, too, if you think about it? They want John to get cheered as much as possible, right? This is his last final, you know, run. If he was to be the one to throw Jay over and win, the heat would have been Dominic Mysterio heat on John Cena. So you had to go with Jay. It
I don't
made sense.
think so. I don't.
Oh,
I
come on.
don't think. I don't think he would have gotten hate. I think.
Oh, I think it would have been nuclear.
You think so?
Well,
I
with,
think that,
with that final two, the crowd could have booed if Cena. If somebody eliminated Jay earlier in the match,
Then right. I'm saying
And
if
then
they were the
Cena
final
wins, yeah.
two. Like this this scenario that we had, but Cena got Jay over the top. I think it would have been hard, like just bananas heat.
I mean, but it's also John Cena. Well, remind me, they were down to the final two, and they usually do that little stare down, and then everybody kind of looks over at the WrestleMania sign, and then they go back to wrestling.
Yeah,
What was the
pretty much.
crowd reaction when it was just those two in the ring? Because they always have a moment where there's like, you get a boo, a definitive booing for somebody, and a definitive cheer for the other guy.
You know, to be honest, I don't even remember.
I just hope. I heard a Roadhouse. I just heard everybody going apeshit. I didn't really
Yeah.
hear no boos or
See,
no
that's what I remember.
Reed or no Cena or no Cena sucks. Like, you know, I forgot the last time I heard a Cena sucks chant actually. And have you like?
Actually, I feel like we just heard it during the Rumble. I feel like it was back and forth a little bit, but
Really?
like I feel like I heard it. Yeah, it was not as strong as it normally is. You know what I mean?
Right. And
But,
even like his song now, you don't hear that John Cena sucks when it comes out.
Right.
Like, that's like unheard of. It's like
know,
that
right?
never happened before.
But I wonder if he wins the Elimination Chamber, if people are going to start saying that.
he is
Like,
not
do
going
people
to win
want
the
him to win
Elimination
the
Chamber. You
See, I
know
don't
why?
think so either.
One name, 2 words. Randy Orton. Randy Orton is. I said this months ago, but I said it was going to be for the title. But his
You
match
did.
to keep him relevant and to keep in a WrestleMania moment will be his last WrestleMania match to be against his biggest nemesis probably of all times, which is Randy Orton.
See, my only issue is we're running out of time. And if Orton comes back now, I feel like the only thing that makes immediate sense is that he goes right after Kevin Owens. Which would then bring me to this unsanctioned match that we just got announced on Raw, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, which means it's a fucking no DQ, really. Randy Orton returns and helps Sami win that one. So now Randy's back. So you have, I guess, from Chamber to Mania, I guess, to build something with Randy and Cena. I mean, I guess you don't need a lot of time to build it.
It's Randy and Cena. It starts where it picked off. Like, you don't need time for that.
Right.
You need one RKO out of nowhere. And
I almost would rather John Cena CM Punk. And I know that's not going to happen, but you know what I mean? Like, there was, I don't know. I
feel
like that a
CM
lot better.
Punk is going to cash in his favor, and the favor is going to be. I mean, again, like there's rumors about this triple threat, but I really think if you take John Cena out of the equation, CM Punk can have his main event moment. It's the way I look at it. So you can have Rhodes, Punk, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. If that happens, I don't think Punk's going over. For some reason, I think they're gonna keep the strap on fucking Cody, regardless of who wins.
I don't know if Cody leaves Mania as champion. I don't know. It's been a long run now, right?
It's been almost a year.
Right.
A year.
And it's felt like 3 or 4. Like, it feels like one of those old Bob Backlund title defenses that you're like, what the fuck?
In my opinion, the feud with Kevin Owens was the best feud he had as champion.
Yeah, by far, by a long shot. I think we could all agree on that. But my thing is, I think WWE might be scared of taking the title from Cody because he might get lost in the sauce. And with his merch and the All-American look that he has, I think they might want to ride that wave a little bit longer. It's just my thought.
And you have to remember, one of the sticking points with AEW when he was there is that Cody doesn't want to turn heel. He doesn't want to be a bad guy. And now this is what it's the wrestling cycle, unless you're Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who never turned. The wrestling cycle is you're hot for a while, you're a big baby face, and then when it starts to on the way down, right, you just flip. And that was Cody's problem in AEW. He never did the flip. He'd tease it, but he never fully did it, so he just kept going. And that'll happen if he doesn't go with the flow on this one. I feel like we're in for a sequel.
I think that's the reason he gets away with a W to WrestleMania. And if they were smart, that's the heel turn right there. For you could give him another 6 months with the belt as a heel and keep him hot. Because if he, I think it's a double-edged sword. If he wins, stays with the belt, it's going to be dull. If he loses, he's going to get lost in the sauce. Because I feel like as soon as that belt is off of him, Roman Reigns is making a beeline back for his title.
Huh. I don't know. Is he Roman's kind of wrapped up with this new bloodline thing, right? That's still like going on.
I mean, it looks like his biggest beef right now is going to be Seth Rollins.
Yeah. But it always boils back down to the bloodline. Like, we've got all these pieces.
Well, and now we have the startings of the on-air beef between Solo and Jacob.
And I think that's going to be an animal in its own. I think that bloodline's going to have their own civil war amongst them.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, how... Go ahead, yeah.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, did you notice... So I was reading comments online about the segment with Cody and Jacob. Jacob Fatu, ex-convict, whatever you want to call him, blah, 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 wasn't in WWE for years, was in MLW hell for a while. Jacob Fatu standing in the ring across from WWE champion Cody Rhodes, and the entire crowd is chanting for Jacob.
Fatu.
Unbelievable. When you look at that, you go, give the title to that fucking guy.
And I think they popped extra hard when I think he told Cody that he's going to dog walk his ass.
Yes, that was great. That was so great. I'm a dog walk your ass.
Jacob is fucking gold.
He has that aura.
He
has that.
does.
He has that aura.
He does. He does. And he's athletic as fuck. He's just great. I love everything about him. I really do. He's gonna be he's a future world champion, no doubt about it. But I think he's gonna have a feud with Solo soon.
100%.
Something's gonna happen because I feel like that's starting to brew. Because Jacob should be the leader at this point. So I think he should have been the leader all along, quite frankly. But Solo did a great job. I'm not trying to discredit Solo. I think he did a great job. But Jacob is just on another level. Speaking
Now,
of which, we were talking about
is this.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a heel versus heel match when he goes against Solo, or does he automatically become a face?
Jacob is going to be so fucking over. I mean, he's
Yep.
already over.
He's already, yeah, he's a big
He's already over. They're going to have no choice but to turn him face.
As long as they keep that edge, man. That's my only.
Oh, no,
that's my
they
only
will.
Thing when you turn somebody face, they want to change his old personality, which is what got him over in the first place. I really hate that.
Jacob will still be a fucking nut,
That's what I'm thinking.
but he'll be slapping hands with the fans. That's about it. I mean, he's not going to necessarily
I wouldn't
cheat.
even let him slap hands with the fans. Stone Cold never in his life gave a pound in his life, and it's
Well,
probably
no,
the best
because-
wrestler ever.
No, well, but you have Austin is a bad choice because our salute to each other was never a high five; it was a middle finger. So as long as he came by and gave you a middle finger, that was just as good as a you know.
But I feel like he could also almost do that thing where he just walks over to the railing and like leans in and like everybody pats him on the back. Like he wouldn't even need to give anybody high fives. He would just
Right.
like, lean in and be like, "That's my crew right here." And
Well, he'd
everybody
be
would
leaning
agree.
back while chugging a beer, and then they'd all be, you know.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like Jacob Fatu could do that same kind of thing where he'd lean
Right.
back and like everybody like, yeah, he wouldn't ever need to slap hands. He
They
could
will
just be like,
definitely not take any edge away from
they can't
Jacob.
because
He's
yeah,
they got to just let him be him, and it's going to be gold every time.
100%.
Last week we were talking about Jacob, and I said how good he looked in the game. So just want to announce that today I have officially pre-ordered my copy of the game. And let me tell you something. So just for information, and I might be the only asshole that didn't know this. So I went to GameStop because I have a thing with them and whatever. And the guy says, "Are you looking to pre-order so you get the early release date? Because you get it on the 7th instead of the 14th. I said, "Well, I mean, that's a nice bonus, yeah." So he says, "You can only do that if you order it online. You have to get the digital copy. You can't buy the..."
Oh, what?
Right. So you have to go to your Microsoft account or Sony account, I guess.
PlayStation Store. Yeah.
And so if you get the... so, of course, I had to get the fucking Roman tree fucking...
yeah.
The deluxe, you know, whatever. $120. And then with tax and everything, it was $140.
Yikes.
Heavy duty, bro.
For 7 extra days and a bunch of unlockables.
A bunch of downloads and all the
Yeah.
future downloads and a lot of
okay.
virtual
You got
coins.
you got like the
get
season pass and all that.
everything.
Okay.
Oh, you
Do
get
you,
everything.
do you start off as WWE champion when you pay 120 for it? Like,
Yo, for real.
No, but you have like
are you the
have
tribal
certain.
chief? Like, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, I'll take that. But no, they you get extra like boosters and shit for to build your guy up, you know, faster and
So,
there's
so I
no
have a question.
unlockables. You unlock everything at the very beginning.
Vince, do you play this game or no?
I haven't played it in a couple. The last time I bought it, was it 19? What was the one that came with the Ric Flair Funko Pop? You had to buy like $120 version. It was like you got a Charlotte trading card and you got like a Ric Flair.
That was
haven't-
probably 3 or 4 years ago. But now,
yeah. I haven't.
So,
I haven't
question, like
played since then.
storyline wise, is the storyline based on the character that like this showcase in the front, or is it just the same storyline like an NBA 2K or Madden would be? How does it work?
The way that it's worked in the past, there's different modes. So if you do career mode career
Showcase. Oh, career mode. Yeah,
mode. No, well, there's showcase.
Right.
Showcase is there's certain matches that you get to replay from history. and it like goes from gameplay to cinematic to gameplay. They're cool, but
I assume that's the Bloodline one this year. Is gonna
Probably.
be showcase mode.
That's what I'm assuming.
You'll probably
too.
get opportunities to play as the Wild Samoans,
Right.
Yokozuna, Umaga against Cena, all that stuff, up to Roman Reigns against Cody or
Right.
whatever. How far they want to go. Yeah.
So then there's a career mode where you create your character, and you can start in NXT and work your way up to getting offers to go to SmackDown or Raw, or you can just start on one of the bigger brands. So I usually just start from the very beginning.
Meaning
And then
NXT,
oh yeah, and
they try and
then
build up.
it's kind of like choose your own adventure. So the game will take you based on the decisions you make. Whether you are a face and then turn heel or vice versa. If you go to Raw, if you go to SmackDown, like there's all different things and consequences to whatever you choose. So you can play it a bunch of times over, and as long as you choose other things, it'll take you in a different direction, and it'll be parts will be the same, but other things will change up a little. So that's kind of cool. Then there's always been another mode. What the fuck is it called? Where it's there's like you can create your week, like you can create your show
like
and you
a,
play
like
through.
a My GM kind of mode. Or
Well,
whatever.
there's a
Right,
My
right,
GM
right.
also, but that's different. This
Oh,
one, yeah.
jeez.
So last year there was where you can import your created guy, and then you just play matches on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, and you gotta set who the champions are, and then you create the feuds and all that. So that's always changing, no matter how you play it. Then there's My GM, where you choose a GM, and then you're up against either other people or the computer, and you have to manage your roster, contracts, and then have enough money to like make your pay-per-views bigger with more pyro and more staging and more. And the idea is to beat the other brand by.
Oh, that sounds like a job.
It is, but it's fun, and it starts off with a draft. It's pretty cool.
But then you're saying there's one where you can just like book, hey, I want to book a week of wrestling, and this is my SmackDown, this is my Raw,
Yeah.
this is my.
And then you can create your own show too. Like you can pick Saturday and create Saturday night's main event if you want, or you can create WCW because now there's so many guys who
Right.
you can make your own stuff. It's pretty cool. This year, if you you get, it's kind of going to play again like 2K, where you roam the city and you'll have different things. That GM mode now you can play online, and you can play against other people online.
Wow.
Is what I'm hearing too. So there's gonna be a lot of cool shit with the game.
I hear like they got like an island now. Like NBA 2K has like a city that you like walk
Right.
around and go.
It's
to,
the
they
island
got
of
something
Samoa.
Like that. Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Have they had that before? Or is that a new thing?
That's brand new.
There was what was there one about 15 years ago where you could you were backstage at the arena, and in order to like you had to walk through the thing to the curtain, and then you'd start the cutscene to enter the match.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or you
but
could leave, and then it turns out you were like in Madison Square Garden the whole time, and you're on like Broadway in New York, and you're like walking up and down the street, and you can get hit by cars and shit.
Yep,
It's
I
one
do
of the
remember.
SmackDown
Oh, that's
versus Raw.
awesome.
There's like a SmackDown versus Raw game where you can go outside the arena and get like you can jump off the marquee, get hit by cars, all kinds of crap. But since then, that's been like 15, 20 years since they've done
Just
that.
FYI, the last game I think I ever played was 97 Survivor Series or 95. I forgot what the hell it was. All I know is the Ultimate Warrior was still in the game.
Oh my God, you're quite a bit behind.
I'm very behind.
Well, Warriors in the game now.
Yeah,
They have 300 plus superstars in this game already.
Wow.
dude, there was that list. So the list came out on Facebook of all the Samoans that are in the bloodline.
They're all
pack.
in there. The entire like bloodline is in there.
And then poor Alpha Jr. shares the status and goes, well, fuck me then, because he's the only one that's not in it.
Oh,
Oh shit.
that's
Alpha
fucked up.
Jr., his fucking dad, his cousin, everybody's in it. Poor
That's
Alpha
so
Jr. is the
fucked up.
only, and he was in like 2K12 or 13. He was already with the company. He was in the game. They have a scan. He's there. Just put him back
Wow.
in the game.
Ryan says he believes that game was Here Comes the Pain,
Yeah.
and that was the last WWE game he bought. That was a great game.
Yeah,
That
here
was a
comes
good
the,
game,
but
too.
that's crazy. It was the last, especially for Ryan, since he's always
You guys got to get the games now. They're so fucking cool. Just the graphics alone are
They just look too
mind-blowing.
complicated to play to me. Like,
It's
I just
really
like-
not though. If you played for an hour, you'd have it down. You'd have it down. And if you do the career mode, it teaches you how to play the game as you're going. Like
Okay.
it'll make you do tryouts, like different stuff, and bro, it's really like once you learn the controls, it's easy.
Yeah, it's definitely more than it has. Like over the years, they've added more controls and kind of made it more complicated than like, yeah, if you went back to play Here Comes the Pain or whatever.
I think this is the third year in a row, Steve. I'm in this dilemma. It's the season of decisions. Is
Yeah.
either that game or MLB 2K the show.
Oh,
And I love MLB the show. Like, love that game.
and the show is
That's coming out in
Very soon.
end of March.
I have to pre-order it. Yeah, I got to do the pre-order.
Did you see that they have a new dodge the tag mini game for when you're stealing bases or sliding into like second or third base?
I sure did. That's the first
Dude.
thing I'm gonna try to learn as soon as I get in the game.
Yeah, I love that because I know it's like a minor thing, but it's part
so
of the
big.
game. Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
lot of outs. It's last year. I remember stealing bases. I'm like, oh, I would have swim that, and now you could.
Right, and you can now you can. Right, that's cool
Yeah.
that they have the. Yeah. I'm with Ryan though. Like a yearly game, I always buy. Like I bought the show a couple years ago, but I haven't bought one since. It's like the WWE ones. I'll buy one, then I'll wait a couple years because like they need to change because sometimes you buy the game and the roster is very similar from the year before and all that stuff.
So I'm a big career guy, right? So if I buy WWE, I'm definitely buying career mode because that's what I
Yeah.
want to do. And MLB The Show, I do the same thing. And now last year, you got a draft. So you had to go to a draft. You get drafted, then you go to the team, minor leagues, the whole nine, etc. But it's pretty awesome.
Right?
What is that you were showing us? The Fatu thing.
Is that an entrance from 2K that you were going to play, Steve?
This
Oh,
is
he's
how
gonna
you
get it
get.
set up.
This is how you get Al to buy the game.
Okay, he's good. Put that full tweet.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Bloodline from the Isle of Samoa, weighing in at 255 pounds,
Guys, this match has the potential to completely change the WWE landscape, and it's because of this level of talent involved.
How sick is that?
That's pretty impressive for a video game.
Yeah, but just think you can pitch as Paul Skeens from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Or hit a home run off of it.
Yes,
Better yet.
absolutely.
Yeah, I have decisions to make. I might fuck around and buy both of them.
Now, are either of these on Game Pass? Because then you could just get Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or whatever.
Probably. I mean, you'll have to pay for it.
It
won't be included with your Game
It's in
Pass.
my PlayStation, my PS5 PlayStation store, but I got to pay for it and download it.
Yeah.
Because like on the Xbox Game Pass, the show every year is part of Game Pass. That $20 a month or whatever it is.
It's included.
It's included.
Yeah, because Game Pass is like it's almost like Netflix. You like
I know what
subscribe-
Game
yeah.
Pass is.
Right. But yeah, I remember when I was playing the show, I got Game Pass one year and I was like, okay, I can play the show and like the Yakuza games and all that stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know if WWE games get on Game Pass. But like on Microsoft, like Halo, all the Halo games are on Game Pass. It's crazy. You can just like you can search almost any game and it's up on Game Pass on the Xbox.
That's interesting. I wish PS5 had some shit like that.
The WWE games, they've come a very long way. It's gonna be
Yeah, they're
crazy.
amazing, man. They're
But
fucking
but the
amazing.
price is just unbelievable.
Yeah, but they do
It's
that with
literally double what it was.
literally $60 game, $59 plus tax or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to those? I mean, look, if you really balance it out, it's like buying a basic game and then like buying coins. You know, like
That's
buying
and
$20
that's how people.
worth of points. That's like what you're doing in a way.
That's how people justify. It's the same thing with like NBA 2K, and people pay the same thing every year, $120, but they're like, oh, I get so much VC. I'm like,
Right.
all right,
Right.
you get it's cool.
Well, because everything is VC in these games.
Correct.
right.
And it's like, a pair of shorts is 30,000 coins.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
That is nuts.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
So, big revelation speaking of Jade Cargill.
Oh yeah.
So now it looks like they're setting it up that Liv Morgan and Raquel are the ones
I did it for
that
the
threw her
Raquel.
through the car. So
I
it
did it-
was not
I did
Naomi
it for the
or
people.
Bianca.
I think they're gonna,
I don't believe that footage. I'm calling cap on
They
that
didn't
footage.
deny it though.
I think there's gonna be a swerve, brother. I think they're gonna.
Correct. There it
But
is.
they didn't. But they didn't deny it.
Well,
Yeah, but they're assholes. Why would they deny it? If they could just be under their skin and in their heads. Why would they?
Why would you want Bianca and Naomi coming after you all the time?
Because they're the tag team champions and you might get a shot at the titles. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just thinking
that's
like
fair.
a wrestler
no,
in
that's fair.
storyline.
right.
I think it's feasible. Look, again,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
putting something in our face right away. Cargill Girl hasn't even been around or heard
Yeah,
of
you
anyway,
gotta-
and we're gonna find out this soon. Like, it don't make sense.
They have to put it out there. Like this is exactly not exactly, but it's pretty similar to who hit Stone Cold with the car. There were a lot of people they accused. Some of them you thought very credibly accused up until it's revealed it was Rikishi. So
Aha.
I feel like they're going to keep this one a little bit open, at least
And also, who's to say that Girl herself doesn't know who hit her or who pushed her? She might know. She just hasn't been heard of.
That's right. Apparently, she broke both of her hands and is in a coma, so she can't text anybody or just say it out loud.
Right.
Jade, is that what they said?
No, wrestling logic though is that if she's not on TV, she hasn't told anybody. But like Steve, if you got hit by a car, you're gonna wait until Tuesday to tell us on the air. You're sitting there with casts and shit in the hospital, and you're like, I got hit by a car. Like,
yeah, no,
you're
I'm
gonna-
pretty confident you guys would hear about it in the chat way before then.
That's what I'm saying. So like, she got hit by. Wouldn't she just be like, "Holy shit, this bitch just hit me with her car," and like send a text message to somebody, and like there'd be no mystery. But like, it's wrestling, so we have to have.
She must be in a coma with a feeding tube. That's
That's right.
Absolutely. She hasn't ate solids in 3 months.
Oh my god. Ugh.
Jesus. That's crazy.
But she
Yeah,
will.
but
I think that's what's going to happen. They'll make some accusations. Somebody's going to look like somebody's guilty. Jade's music is going to come hit. She's going to run out. And she's going to be like, "No, look at this," and then they're going to play like the real tape or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
So I have a question before we continue with the Raw and SmackDown talk. Did you guys get a chance to check out LFG?
No.
No. I
What
on
is it-
purpose
what
I
is it
didn't
on?
record it.
You didn't on purpose record it? Why?
On purpose didn't record it.
Why?
I don't know. I was talking to my wife again last night. And you know what really grinds my gears?
Oh my god.
The fucking fact that wrestling is trying to take over our lives. And I am sick of it. I'm already recording best matches of the 90s. I'm already recording the shit afterwards, which is like rivalries or whatever that new show on A&E is that came back. That's 2 recorded. I'm already dedicating Mondays to watch. I love it here. Fridays to watch. So that's a lot of wrestling. So I had to give up on something.
Ow. It's right before Rivals.
Yes, I know. I saw it.
Just fucking, bro, I'm telling you. So it's tough enough on steroids. So the idea is they have 16. Some have been in the PC for a little bit. Some just got there. Some are athletes. Some are not. Some are from wrestling. Some are not. Right? Kind of deal. They have to go through a lot of the learning, and like putting on matches and like doing all that kind of stuff, cutting promos, all the stuff like that. But the first 2 that impressed the coaches the most.
Don't say more if you want me to watch it.
Don't say what?
Don't say more if you want me to watch it, please.
Well, no,
continue. It's
no,
only
no.
the
I'm
first
not. I'm
episode.
not giving anything away.
Okay, good.
There's gonna be one male and one female that impressed the most the first episode. They get to choose who their legend is going to be.
Ooh.
Their choices are The Undertaker,
Jesus.
Bully Ray, Booker T, and Mickey James. So the rest of the 14, the judges choose who they're going to have on their team. The last 2 to survive, one male, one female, get a contract for NXT.
I think I might go with Booker T just because of the experience.
Oh
Of
no!
being- and so versatile.
If I had the opportunity for Taker, that would be my
Yeah, but the thing is this is the way I'm thinking about it. I'm not 7 foot tall, so I'm not gonna wrestle like a 7-footer. So I think Undertaker Styles wouldn't do well for me. I'm looking at it again as a wrestler in that show. Like, yes, Undertaker's great, but I'm not tombstoning nobody. I'm not hitting nobody with a big fucking kick in the face. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the mannerisms and the acting aspect of it, I could also get that from Booker T because he was great at that. And in the ring, he was fucking awesome.
I can't argue with anything you just said.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it would be funny for it to be like somebody goes up there like, "Hey, Mr. Undertaker, I need some advice," and he's like, "Well, have you tried growing 1.5 feet so you're 7 feet tall like the Undertaker?" And they're like, "No, sir, I'm a cruiserweight. You should stop doing the shooting star press and learn how to do a clothesline and a tombstone."
In fact,
you
you know who one of the contestants is? Evander Holyfield's kid.
Oh,
Really?
crazy.
Yeah.
He played football, did he?
I think maybe, but now he's trying this. But I'm telling you, it's just watch the first episode. It's an hour and a half. I think the rest of them will be an hour. But just check out the first one and see. I'm telling you, you won't be able to turn it. It was so fucking good.
I'm off tomorrow, and I will be watching TV. So after I'm done with The Court on Netflix, the basketball Olympic thing that they have a reality show on just came out today.
Yeah.
Awesome show, by the way. 2 episodes in. I'll definitely dive into it. And I have to watch the other 2 recordings. I still didn't watch that shit.
And then you have to just report back and let us know what
I
you
will
thought.
report on Tuesday, sir, and let you guys know a feedback. Vince, are you watching it?
I haven't watched it. I can if it's only is it only an hour? I can.
So
I
the
can-
first episode's an hour and a half.
Oh,
But
all right.
I think going forward, it's going to be an hour.
All right. I mean, I can give it a shot. I have to like remember. Also, like you're saying, Al, there's a whole lot on right now.
Oh my god.
Evolve.
It's
is
a
on
lot.
Evolve is on Tubi or Pluto. Or
I'm not even
I'm not
downloading
even watching
Tubi.
that
Yeah,
shit.
I'm not even doing it.
I like Tubi and Pluto because they have like TV shows and movies like old stuff that you can just watch with ads, and I'm super happy to watch that. But yeah, trying to like add Evolve and all this other shit. No, that's crazy.
I have a question. Do you guys hear my dog snoring by any chance?
No.
Oh, good. All right, because he's snoring so loud next to me. I was hoping I had to
that's
slap
so
him
funny.
awake real quick.
Yeah, no, I don't hear it. But
Before we move on, I have a question. Why would you not want to see Liv and what's her name become tag team champions? I think they're as hot as the tag team girls, and you keep them a little bit more relevant. Because I really don't like Naomi and what's her face as champs. I don't know why. I guess
it does nothing for me either.
Right.
To be honest, as far
feel
as Liv and Raquel, I mean, I'm not against that either. You know what? I said it last week too, and I can't really even tell you what it is, but Raquel does nothing for me. Like, Liv is the star. So to see her and Raquel, I don't know.
But isn't that a tag team though?
No,
you have the
of
one
course.
person, the muscle that really don't do much for you.
It's
and
like
then-
Shawn Michaels and Diesel, but the
Right.
female version. Not
Okay.
to say that she compares to Shawn Michaels. Let's just get that out there too. But
Right, but I get that it's a Shawn and Diesel kind of situation, and yeah, Raquel doesn't really do much for me either, and she seems nice enough and all that shit, but like I don't know, it's the same thing of like Mia Yim, like she's fine, she's a great wrestler. Is she like Mr. Personality or whatever? No, she's not. Like it's just I feel like there are just a couple people on the roster that are like that.
So can you guys give me a better alternate if we take the belts off of Naomi and the EST? Which, by the way, I think she needs to go back to being a singles wrestler.
Oh, 100%. And that's why I think
I agree with that too.
it doesn't just end up with Bianca being the one that hit Jade with the car because she was sick of being her tag team partner? Like, isn't that just
What's that tag team from NXT that have been on Raw a few times?
Is it the African American chicks?
Yeah, and one of them is real tall and
Yeah,
Diesel.
yeah. I
mean,
like
you could-
the tall one. She's real good, man. She's
Yeah.
like a bruiser.
And then I mean you could throw it on them. I mean that's your other problem too. There's just not too many female tag teams.
Hence why I said them. They're as popular as it gets. They got a lot of heat on them. You know, they could beat a couple of good baby faces. Because God knows the women's tag team divisions is full of baby faces. Outside of like who's like Damage Control's already their face. So you got Shitstain's team. And who else? That are bad girls.
Yeah.
Like I can't name any.
No, I can't either.
Oh, you got what's her name? But she's the U.S. champ. Her and Karen,
Chelsea and
Chelsea and yeah, but she's already, she's busy and they got something good going on. So
Now, tell me if this sounds silly. Sister Abigail or whatever the chick's name, the witch,
yes,
and then Alexa.
So put it on Nikki Cross and Alexa. I could be done with that.
yeah.
I
They were
would like to, I would like to see them take it off the team we're talking about though.
Sure. Let's take it off because who is right now it's still Bianca, it's Bianca and Naomi until
Correct.
Jade gets back. Okay. I feel like this is setting up for whenever Jade comes back, either Bianca's going to turn on her in the middle of a match like Cody did to Hardcore Holly and they lose the titles, or like I don't know, I feel like I'm on your side, Al, in terms of Bianca going back to singles, and I feel like her turning on Jade and then them setting up a singles match because we have enough time for WrestleMania between those two girls. And I mean, I don't know how good it's going to be, but I know people would be at least be hype or be interested to see what's going to happen. Bianca versus Jade 1-on-1.
Yeah, I mean that's.
There's still
I think
plenty of
that's the
time for
road.
them to set that up for Mania.
Yeah, that's the road. The only thing is, like you said, would Jade be ready being out of the ring so much unless she's been doing nothing but practicing and trying to get better as a singles wrestler?
I think that's why they took her off the road because she still just wasn't
Yeah,
developed.
she was
where
raw.
She had gotten better. Like,
Yeah.
let's get that out there. But I don't think it was moving as quickly as they wanted it to.
Probably not singles better. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, she was thriving in the tag team, but
Bro.
you don't have all the responsibility. You know,
Well, she
and
was the
Bianca
muscle, right?
well, but so's Bianca. I mean,
Yeah, but Bianca was your starter. She was the one that was in there getting the bumps and all that, and then she gave the hot tag, and this girl came in, and
Right.
then she did what she did minorly
that's true.
and gingerly.
Gingerly.
Yeah, I always got the sense that as she was doing it, she was remembering, like she's like, oh yeah, and then this is next, and then this is next, and you could like
Right.
see the gears turning in her
Right.
head.
There was no acting in the art of wrestling in her. It was just real monotone. Like she was thinking too much. Like you literally saw her thinking.
Right.
Yeah, spot. And that was a big part of her AEW, and AEW just did what they could with her because she was incredibly green. Her first wrestling matches, I think, were with AEW on TV. So
Isn't
know,
that amazing?
she got thrown into the fire. It's
Like
crazy.
literally right into the deep end.
Because it was Cody and Brandy against Shaq and Jade. No, who was it? Yeah, it was Shaq.
It was
and
Shaq.
Jade.
Yeah,
it was Shaq.
Maybe
It
he
was
put him
Shaq.
through a table or some shit.
Yeah, Shaq got put through a table, got put in an ambulance, and canonically in AEW has never been seen again.
Jesus Christ.
That was awesome of Shaq though to do that
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, and it
He
you
loved
know,
every minute of it.
and it was all part of
And he got paid for it.
right inside the NBA
Oh, yeah.
was on TNT. It was a whole Turner Networks
Think about that, Steve. Hey, Steve, would you want to come make 250 grand and have Cody put you through a table in a live main event with millions watching?
Put me through
Uh,
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
I'm
think
fucking
about
good.
it. Hell yeah.
Light it on fire. I don't care. For that
Right,
kind of
you
money?
He
Hey,
said light it on fire.
I don't give a shit.
As long as they call me Shaq Diesel. He was the best. Shaq was the best. Like one time he just was sitting there. He's like, I'm great. He's in an interview. He was like, I'm so good. Shaq, oh, savior of the universe. Like Flash Gordon. I'm like, what are you doing,
The
buddy?
big Aristotle.
He's hilarious. So I want to talk a little bit about Raw because we're getting already close to the top.
Jeez.
And Sami Zayn cut one hell of a promo, pleading his case as to why he needs to have a match in Toronto against Kevin Owens. Pierce comes out and says there's no way to do it. You're not medically cleared. They go back and forth. Pierce does a great job with his half of the segment. And ultimately, he gives Sammy what he wants, an unsanctioned match, which, ladies and gentlemen, is just a glorified way of saying no disqualification. But these two are going to beat the holy hell out of each other. So it should be interesting. I expect this to go everywhere in the building.
Yeah, these two guys always beat the shit out of each other, especially when they're given the leeway of some sort of hardcore match.
And they're both home. That crowd is going to be insane.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious how they whatever the fuck they said he had on his neck that was wrong with him. It just sounds like if you Google that shit, there is no way you would ever get medically cleared to wrestle again. And it just sounds so dramatic to me. Like I was cracking up seeing him grabbing his neck and all that other shit in the middle of the ring because I'm like, they said he has a vertebrae disconnected from his vertical cord on the
Yeah, that all
fucking-
sounds so bad.
on the vein connected to his asshole, and I'm like, oh my god, he can't even take a shit, let alone wrestle, and he's gonna be ready for Mania no matter what, you know? I mean, no, I'm sorry, for the Chamber. Isn't it the Chamber?
Yeah, that match is at the Chamber.
Yeah, it's at the Chamber. That shit is next week, isn't it? Like it's next week. So I thought it
Is
was
it next
great.
week already?
Yeah, it's the first.
Oh, shit.
It's next fucking week.
February's
So
a
here
short
I'm
month
thinking
anyway.
about this guy could barely walk a week ago, and now they're still saying he's bad. And
And
he's
it was
gonna be
just
ready.
about Michael Cole's delivery, too, because it was so, like,
Oh, it was awesome.
heartbreaking news, you know?
Well,
I'm just-
remember, good.
I was just gonna say I'm split on this match. That's the only thing I have an issue with because why would Sammy lose again after going? Like I don't think he's ever beat him on a one-on-one match, or he has maybe.
He's
once,
had one.
once if that.
It
Why
was
would
a
you take this
SummerSlam, I think.
beating? But again, KO is this version of KO. I love so much,
I
which
do
I
too.
hope they do something at the end with it. I don't know what the fuck is gonna be, but he needs to do something great and actually win it. I would hate to see him lose and lose steam. So
I
I'm
agree.
split. What were you saying, Vince?
Just remember how many years ago, the right to censor broke Chyna's neck, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then she came back and wrestled at Wrestle. They're like, she has a broken neck. She's never going to wrestle again. And like 4 weeks later, it's like, I'm at WrestleMania, everybody.
Right.
Well,
like,
now
it's
listen, to
wild.
be fair, Kurt Angle won the gold medal with a broken freaking neck. So
That's correct.
Yeah, and nobody else has sense. He's the only one.
You know, I'll tell you, Dominic versus AJ, great match on Raw.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely great. And then the setup for AJ versus Braun Breaker for the IC title. I'm excited to see that. I think that's going to be great. The spear Dominic took, or Carlito. I think it might have been Carlito. No, it was Dominic, I think, that took the spear. Broke him in half, which was great.
Are they
I would
teased-
I would have to get paid a spiff to take a whatchamacallit, a spear from Braun Breaker
Oh, yeah.
as a wrestler. Like I would need some spot money that day that I could take home
Yeah.
because that shit
Cash.
was brutal. Cash.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
On the
recorded.
spot. Tax me later.
right under the table. Because it's
No,
not
you're not
acting.
wrong.
It's a football tackle. It's like when Goldberg would tackle somebody. That wasn't an act. That was Goldberg tackling you, like when he played for the Atlanta Falcons. So it's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
Live
kind of-
action.
Yeah, it's crazy. Dakota Kai, Ivy Nile. actually really good match. Dakota Kai looked good, and she got over, which was good to see because you don't see that very often.
Yeah.
And then, of course, another Jey Uso Gunther brawl, which was great. I always love that shit. So that was good, and it just got you excited for the match. I liked how Gunther did the whole Jey Uso entrance.
He did, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was cool.
not to back too far up, but I have to ask: are they teasing that the Judgment Day is going to get a new like mystery member? Because
By that no new member comment.
yeah, because like people are speculating that it could be Aleister Black or Miro or one of the AEW, like one of the guys that just got released from AEW, and they're leaning towards Aleister Black because that's Judgment Day, kind of spooky,
Right.
whatever, or originally spooky, and now whatever. So I don't know. What do you think?
I would like that actually. Aleister Black going to the Judgment Day. I think right away it gives him credibility and puts him on a group that he could be the leader of.
Yeah, because
And
they're kind of jokey right now, and there really is no
Right.
leader.
he could maybe
per se.
get rid of some of the jokers, like right away get rid of Carlitos, like get you and your Apple out of here. You know,
He'll just kick him.
uh,
He just kick him in the face. That's it. He wouldn't
yeah,
even have to
that's
say
it.
anything.
That's it. And everybody just walks behind him out of the ring. And that's all you have to say about that.
Yeah.
And you can start him off just like you used to. Pitch black. They'll be in the ring cutting a promo. Pitch black. Open it up. He's right behind them. Carlitos eating his fucking apple. And he
Yeah.
spits that apple out of him with the kick. That's it.
Oh, spits the apple is great. That's
Yep.
a great little touch.
And
That's
then
Oh,
it.
he
just
always has
grabs
to
the
spit
mic.
the apple.
You know, you'll have like fucking Dominic holding the mic looking shitless. He'll grab the mic from him and says, "This is my Judgment Day now." Slaps it and everybody walks behind him. Great
That's
promo. Short and sweet. We got a new Judgment Day.
Oh God, with Dominic being the captain of the ship, that'd be interesting.
No. With whatchamacallit being the captain.
Alistair.
Aleister Black.
Oh,
Would
I
take
could get
over,
over
like,
that.
yeah.
I could get over
Makes
that.
him a little bit more darker again, you know. maybe
Apparently,
puts him
that's
a little-
already been in the works. Alistair and Miro or Rusev coming back to WWE. That's already been. So
I guess he'll come back as Rusev, right?
I would
Yeah,
imagine.
I would assume so.
Yeah, I would
Is
imagine.
Lana coming back with him? Any rumors on that, or is because that was solidified?
I
with
haven't
Rusev.
heard anything.
I've heard so many they've split up, they're back together, they're working it out, they're not together. I don't know what's happening with them.
But as
at
a
all.
couple, or
Yeah, like as a real life couple.
okay,
Like I don't know because Charlotte and Andrade are done. There was reports that CJ, Lana, and Rusev were separated, not divorced but separated. Then there was like, oh well, they're going to try and work things out. I really don't know what the story is with them. So hopefully it works out for them. Hopefully there's not like this curse of like they went to you go to AEW and then you get divorced like Andrade and then then it happens to Rusev and then it happens to Alistair and I wouldn't wish that on them at all.
Penta and Pete Dunne put on another great match. Penta's
Yeah, that was a good
just,
match.
I mean, I say it week after week. I mean, I so enjoy watching Penta. And they're pushing the hell out of Roxanne Perez. Now she's going to be in the chamber. She beat Raquel Rodriguez. So she's going to be in the chamber. That's a big deal for her. She, and then, she broke that record in the Rumble. So they're putting a lot behind her.
Hey,
She's kind of like, to me, she reminds me, she's like the new AJ Lee.
yes, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I see a lot of excuse me, a lot of comparison for that one for sure.
highly surprised she didn't come out in the Rumble. I really thought that was going to be like the surprise of all surprises, AJ Lee coming back.
I did too. I was hopeful.
And Becky Lynch, like, what the fuck is going on with her?
I don't know. Apparently she's been ready. They just haven't been ready to bring her back or found the right moment to bring her back, I guess. I don't know. Have you heard anything, Vince?
No, and I think it was a similar, like you're saying. They Charlotte was ready to go, and Becky is ready to go around the same time, and I think they didn't want them both. they don't want to blow both surprises. So
Right.
maybe Becky turns up at Elimination Chamber, or like you said, interferes at WrestleMania, gets involved somehow, and causes Charlotte to lose to Tiffy, and then spins off into their own feud. Because she
Or the
runs into
Raw
this.
after.
Yeah, because she runs into the same problem that Charlotte does. Her reputation and all of that is so big that when she comes back, the immediate conversation is, when is she going to challenge for? When is she going to win the title? So the only way that you can keep Charlotte and Becky away from that title and let Tiffy do her own thing is if Charlotte and Becky are feuding separately of the championship, and then Tiffany has her opponents as well. Because otherwise she's going to get stuck having to go against Charlotte, go against Becky, and then, I mean, she's such a new champ. Is she going to beat both of them? Who's she, goddamn Goldberg? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Well, why don't you just put him away from her and put him on Raw?
that's what I'm
And
saying.
have,
So they can
and
split,
have him and have him deal with what's her face with Mommy, because Mommy's no joke right now.
That's true.
It ain't a lot of things hotter than Mommy right now in the whole WWE, male or female.
That's a true story.
For sure.
And she's legit, bro. Like I'm a fan of her. Like she could wrestle her ass off. Her promo skills have gone like 180. Like she was. I wouldn't say she was bad, but holy shit,
Rhea's
like,
the
she
real
is-
deal, man.
She's great now.
She's the real deal. She's unbelievable. The main event, qualifying match for the Chamber, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, Rollins goes over, but what a fucking match. I mean, that was a great match. But of course Seth Rollins is in the Chamber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, that was that's why. So Roman's not in the Chamber, and I saw a thing that said, and again, I take this all with a grain of salt, but Roman was like, if I'm not winning the Chamber, I don't want to be in it. And I'm like, you know what, buddy, you've been working there long enough. If you're not winning the Chamber, you don't need to be in it.
Well,
Stay
and
home.
it does nothing for him to lose either. So it makes no
Right.
sense for him to be in it.
And he has to get pinned or submitted.
You have to get
so.
right, and that I think that's that's his argument too. Is like, why am I going to go take a pinfall for nothing? So
Right.
Yeah, that hasn't happened often.
no.
Well, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
Wow,
quickly, we have reached the top of the hour.
That was a quick hour.
that was a real quick hour. Holy shit! Because there's so much going on. We didn't even talk about Grand Slam Australia. That was a great show. Go watch. If you haven't watched Grand Slam Australia, I hate to add more wrestling to your plate, but it was a great show.
God damn it! No, but
All right, so if you don't want to watch everything, you watch the open match, which is Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher against Omega and Ospreay, which was probably match of the night. And then you watch the main event, Mariah May against Timeless Toni Storm. You can watch those two. If you want to skip the rest, you can. It's a fun show, but it was
Does
good.
Tony Storm win?
Do you really? Yes, she did.
I'm not gonna go watch. All right, good.
She won. It was
That
pretty
promo
cool.
of her when she became Timeless Tony Storm again is one of the best promos I've ever seen in my life. I saw that shit like 20 times.
Dude, that one, and then the Harley Cameron rapping Mercedes Moné's theme
With the puppet?
with the puppet. They made like a whole music video. The puppet's like in a limo and shit. Oh, it was great.
That's funny. I see that. I gotta Google that one.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good show, and I think, yeah, if you wanted to check out one or two of those matches, go for it. Otherwise, catch it whenever if you get Max, it'll be on Max. You can always go back and stream it. But yeah, shit, a lot of wrestling to cover, especially as we get more towards WrestleMania. Once we get past the Rumble and we start full steam ahead, there's always a ton to talk about. So, yeah, that'll do it for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Right now, we are streaming on Steve's Facebook, the Tag Me a Date Facebook page, and then our YouTube, our social media is at Tag Me a Date. That's Tag Me a Date with no spaces. It's all one word. That's on Twitter/X. That is our Instagram. That's our Facebook. That's our YouTube. So you go to the Facebook, you can hit the like button when you like the page. That'll put it in your feed. We go live, it'll pop up. If you go to the YouTube, that's the best way to do it. Go to the Tag Me a Date YouTube, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. It'll send a notification to your phone or your tablet when we go live. So you can just tap the button and watch the show. You can also go back and watch the archive on there. And then TikTok is the War Report podcast.
Correct.
All right, awesome. I'm learning. So the TikTok is the War Report podcast. We will post Steve posts shorts or reels on that page. He posts shorts and reels on the Instagram as well. So you can check those out. If you didn't want to watch the full show, you can still kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. And other than that, just thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for hopping in the comments. Our buddy David was there. Ryan was in the comments talking about the 2K games. So we appreciate the comments. Like, share, subscribe. And, if you prefer an audio version of the podcast instead of a video version, all you got to do is go to your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. Search for The War Report. Search for Tag Me a Date. It'll pop up. You see this logo that's all over the screen. That's going to be there. It'll say Steve. It'll say Vince and Eric and all that. It'll have our names on it. When you read the description, hit the subscribe button. And then within an hour of the live broadcast going off the air, Ryan takes the audio and then puts it up on the podcast apps. And then if you are subscribed, it just goes right into your phone or your tablet. You don't even have to do any extra work. So you can take that audio with you if you're going on a drive or, doing dishes or whatever it is that you're doing throughout your day where you need to listen to a podcast. So that'll do it for us this week. We'll be back next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time for another one of these live streams. We're talking all things pro wrestling on the War Report After Dark. Again, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.